She'll be on in a second.
Who is?
Christine.
Okay, great. Yep, Adam's logging in too.
Hooray.
All right. We'll just wait for those two to come on.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning,
All right.
Adam.
Thanks for coming on. We now have a quorum.
Yay.
Call the meeting to order at 8:02. Not bad for July. All right. Just going through the agenda. No public are on this with us, I guess. Any additions or changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Approval of the minutes from the May meeting, which I think were circulated and everybody saw. Does anyone have any changes? Hearing none.
No.
Can I get a motion?
I move we approve the minutes from the May meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, there we go. And we are on to business. Housing
Oh,
Committee
We
update.
just have to all in favor that.
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah.
assumed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Roger. Robert, not Roger. Robert's Rules of Orders. All right, Housing Committee update.
Okay, so we actually met, which was great, and we kind of did like a refresh. And we had quite a few in attendance. We did a hybrid meeting. And so we have a new member, Keith Balvin, he's from Castle Consulting, and he is very excited about the committee. And he had multiple questions about, from tracking mechanism of, from the strategic plan, what did we accomplish? And so he has actually created a spreadsheet on that. And I need to fill in some spots, but we, will spend maybe some time today at our meeting at 1 o'clock. Going over that. We talked about doing a local resource list of contractors, architects that would be interested in building housing, and would they be able to offer a discount to move housing along in the valley. So we want to work on that. We talked about some digital advertising. We also talked about like where's the short-term rental, long-term rental as it stands now. And we need to get some data off of the air DNA that the Bytown marketing actually has as a resource. So I'm really super excited about continuing the housing discussion, and hopefully we can find somebody to manage that a little bit better than myself at the moment. So yeah, any questions on housing?
All right. Hearing none, we'll go on to Marketing Committee.
Okay, Bytown marketing. We are in full swing, of course, with our digital ad campaign. We did finish up our brochure, and that's down at the Guilford Welcome Center. I'm not sure, we don't have a report yet on, how much has been taken from that, how many have been taken. So, but last year we did run out, so it'll be interesting to see. We, let's see, we're working on a webcam at the Hermitage Club, and we're also working on the fall photo shoot. Exciting kind of a thing where the state is actually using some of our photographs in their state of Vermont advertising for the, what's that called? What it's a campaign for the state of Vermont to bring tourists, as well as, people moving here. So, and then we just deployed our hospitality video. I don't know if any of you have seen that, but it is about, we were doing this contest for local employees to show how they do Vermonting. And they get, I think it's $100 gift card. And a few of those have drizzled in, which is kind of cool. And hopefully we can use those videos in a campaign of some sort. So, and then the last thing that I have to fill you in on is we've been trying to work again on a mechanism to track how our campaign is doing. So we started this footfall, and we actually stopped the campaign last week or the week before. I think it was a couple weeks ago. We ran it for a little bit over a month, and it says that it was hitting, let's see, 15,698 people were entering the area after seeing a display ad. And, but we only had 1,000 clicks. So like, it's not working. I understand that there was some sort of difficulty between Meta and this third-party footfall. So it's not
1,000
worth
clicks
us.
that's a lot.
Right, but 1,000 clicks, but 15,690 people, 98 people were entering the area. This is what footfall was saying.
Yeah.
15,698 people were entering the area that had clicked on the ad.
That seems really good.
Gretchen, it's that they were shown the display ad. So it's Meta, it's how Meta works. And it's Booyah, our ad provider. Footfall is just the name of what the data is.
Right.
So what we couldn't figure out, and they weren't able to provide better information, was it tracking, like, if one of us drives to Hadley and back and we've entered a zone where we're targeting, was that counting that 3 or 4 times? So basically it was really great data, but we knew we didn't have 16,000 people downtown. So unfortunately, until they can rein it in a little bit better, it's just not solid data. And so there was portions of it do seem to be working, but this one thing, and of course Tim has all the better words to explain it, but
Right.
is this one piece of it was clearly not correct, and so we stopped putting anything into it until we can get some better data.
Is this through Placer, or is this just completely unrelated to Placer?
I don't know.
Because so Placer has a way of filtering out the people who live in areas and go back and forth by weighting the amount of time the phone is in the home zone and the amount of time it's out of the home zone, and it determines this person is already here.
Right.
And does not target those people or does not track those people. But Placer's really expensive.
Yeah, and this, I think, was just part of something that Booyah had to offer, in place of the geofencing we couldn't get because of changes. But so we'll see. I know Tim has a plan for the parts of it that are working to look at for fall, and he's going to keep looking at stuff. But we were like, wow, that seems great. And then we were like, wow, that seems really great. I
It's a
don't
great-
think I've seen 15,000 people downtown today.
No, but like Route 9, traffic, I don't know what's that these days, but that's like 10,000 people a day.
Yeah.
But that
know,
picked
yeah,
up.
go through.
That's true.
Mhm.
Um,
So he's working on it, and he has all the better words than like we just say, okay, that sounds great.
Thanks, Shannon, for jumping in.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
so, but Gretchen, on that, was there 1,000 clicks or 1,000 views?
It says,
Impressions?
That's clicks
number
on
of clicks
display.
on the display ad is currently right around 1,000.
So that seems like a good click ratio.
That is a good click.
Yeah, well, our impressions are around 1 million.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I
like
thought we were at a
0.1.
15,000 to 1,000. Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's like around 1 million impressions.
gotcha.
Right.
Hmm. Okay. That'll be interesting to see how that sorts out.
Right.
Economic data reporting.
Shannon, do you want to go first?
Sure. So in Dover on May 7th, we got a payment for the quarter, the period of February 5th to May 4th. It was $406,659.06. That was up about 7% from last year, that same payment, and it's now the largest single payment ever received. But as usual, we don't have any other data. So it's up, that's great. But we all know the faults with the 1% data.
Mhm.
Is it apples to apples in timing?
I have not had a chance to look at that, honestly. It's on my list.
Normally, it's all over the place in timing,
Right.
right, Shannon?
Yeah, I'm just trying
right?
to pull to see when the last one was.
Yeah, I show that we had 88 days in this last payment. And I don't have the ratio from the time before.
Yeah, so
I thought
last
I had it in
year,
there.
it was February 3rd to May 2nd, and this was February 5th to May 4th. So this one seems about the same.
Mhm.
It's also interesting because like this year, both local option meals and rooms and sales and use were the same dates. Some quarters they're not. Like last year, rooms and meals had an extra day compared to sales and use, and like why?
Yes.
Why?
Right. It makes no sense.
Why?
Right. Yeah, so comparatively from last May, so meals and rooms was 89 days and sales and use was 90 days compared to 88 days for this May. That's what I'm showing.
And what were the results?
Shannon, can you let me share my screen, please? Everybody see that one?
Yep.
Yes.
So comparatively from last May, which is up here in the green, we were 3.25% in an increase from the previous, but again, this was a few more days. I don't know if that, depends on what those days were. So, yeah, so, and then, let's see here. In this, can everybody see this one?
Yes.
A new one, okay. So looking at May again, that's all of it together, and not separated out. between the meals and rooms and sales. And then I also do this data, and the first quarter of this year was out and available. Alcohol is up a little bit compared to last quarter, not a whole lot, but down in meals and rooms, because this is 2024 on the lower and this upper first quarter retail sales. So compared to last quarter, retail sales again are up from the first quarter of the previous year. So,
It,
and I can send this out to everyone too.
oh, 70. Oh, I see. Okay.
Any questions?
No, that's good news. All right. Anything else on the economic reporting? Hearing none. Let's move on to other business and reorganization.
So we need a new chair and vice chair. And I don't know, anybody?
So I don't know if this helps. I'm on board till September 30, so I can cover the September meeting as a practical matter if that's part of the puzzle, but don't need to.
Bill, I thought we agreed the last time that the seat would move to the next executive director at the club, or the general manager at the club, just automatically take over.
That would make sense. He arrives August 18. So we can talk about it. We can talk about it with him under the heading of drinking water from a fire hose.
Throw him at that, right?
Yeah. He's going to have an awful lot going on those first couple of weeks. I'll talk to him about it and see how he feels. He may want to dive right in.
Yeah, so I think that it makes sense then, Bill, if, I mean, he probably wouldn't want to take a chair position, or he or she. So, I don't know, I just think that we should probably, I mean, we've delayed this a couple of months now, down the pike, and I don't know, what's everybody else's thoughts?
Well, I don't see anybody jumping.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm gonna keep my camera off. I'm home today. And I missed the May meeting because I was on vacation. So if you can give me a quick, we need a chair and a vice chair. Is that what you said, Gretchen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the chair was Bill, who's leaving. Sorry to see you go, Bill, by the way. And who was the vice chair?
Bill, well,
Bill-
yeah.
I
Bill's the
was.
vice chair.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Eric was the chair.
okay, so that's where I was trying. To like catch
You're not
up and be
crazy.
like, yeah. All right. Can I think about it if I'm willing to jump in? The only concern I have is, when we get into winter season, if I'm not able to make a meeting, but I can certainly, I wouldn't throw my name in the hat for chair, but I might throw my name in the hat for vice chair, but can I think about it?
You have 30 seconds.
Usually when you're all away, well, usually you should have just if you voted me in May, because usually when somebody's gone for a meeting, they just come back and they're, we've done that before. You
can thank Adam for that, because
Yeah.
we waited. Yeah, and so Eric was the chair. The reason I didn't just assume that is because I can't also take the minutes. So we have to figure that out. But I mean, it's so much fun. Someone would love to chair this.
Well, I would nominate Shannon to be the chair if we can resolve that other issue.
You gonna take the minutes, Adam?
I wouldn't mind doing it. I just, sometimes I have conflicts and I don't want to. I can't guarantee 100% attendance.
Could we
I
look
think-
into some kind of an AI or a scribe that might be able to help out? I know that sounds crazy because I've tried them and they're not fantastic, but maybe it's an option.
Yeah, I mean, we do use those in pieces at the town for stuff. It's just tough. And, Gretchen and I talked briefly about it, but like, I'm also new in doing a couple of people's jobs. So, one small thing less
Right.
on my plate
I hear
helpful,
you.
But,
I
we're all
don't-
busy people. That's why we're here.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I would not mind taking the chair position. I'm here at every meeting, pretty much. And
We have
You
to
know,
make the agenda anyways.
That's
yes.
great. I think that's great. I would thank you, Gretchen, for that. You need
So
one more thing to
Christine, does
do.
that encourage you to be vice chair?
I mean, so
This is
it's
the
just
first thing
basically,
Bill ever had to do.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Christine. You never have to become actually chair. I mean,
sure, I will take on vice chair if that helps out the committee. Absolutely.
Okay, so I nominate Gretchen Haverlick for chair and Christine Howe as the vice chair.
I'll second that.
All in.
I think
Aye.
that's lovely.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks for falling on that sword, Gretchen.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks. Yeah.
Gretchen. No, Gretchen, don't be out because I'm just kidding.
Okay, Christine. Oh, did I tell you that I can't make the next meeting? No, it's all good.
That's great. All right. And I think at the very least, then the September, 4th, right, would be the next meeting. Josh will be in attendance and maybe we'll tag team and then off to the races.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking about our next meeting. Is that Labor Day weekend? Does that?
No,
It-
it's after Labor Day.
Follows
Yeah, it's
Labor Day.
after. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Labor Day weekend's early this year.
Yeah.
I will arrange for, I will be away, so someone else will attend for BDCC.
Great. Excellent. So the B item here under other business was minutes. Was
That resolved itself.
It resolved itself. Okay. I assume that
Shannon's
was,
still taking
I'll
good
just keep
minutes.
doing it.
that was the conversation we were going to have. All right.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Shannon. You do a great job.
So we'll run through the updates, starting with Wilmington.
Charlie, you want to go
Uh,
first?
Yes, I'm in a terrible location right now with cellular, but I'll go through it. A couple things. The state let us know that they'll be coming in August or September for the scoping report on Bridge 31. So just stay tuned for that, but they're saying August or September, they'll put a report forward. Besides that, we're working on, we've had a change, short-term staffing change in the assessor's office. They are putting out grievance letters now, and then the grand list should go out end of July. Besides that, Gretchen, you want to talk about the Hoot Toot and Whistle project that's starting now, right? Just started?
Yeah, sure. Is that all you got, Charlie? That's it?
Yeah, just the grievance. I think the last thing you guys will probably start hearing a lot more about is Vermont's 250th anniversary celebration. We did approve a 1% fund last week for it, and they're just starting to come up with a plan of activities for next year's for the 76-day celebration.
And as
So-
far as the zoning administrator has
Oh, yes,
resigned.
yeah.
what's her last day?
I thought
Charlie?
she gave. I have to pull up the email, but
Is
it
it
was
August or September?
it was one of those two. Yeah, let me see if I
Yeah.
can pull the email up while you're
It's Sep-
talking.
it's September.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, so please let anybody know that might be interested in that position. So yes, Hoot Toot and Whistle Trail Project is starting this week. They're deploying equipment, and so the trail will be closed, hopefully only until September 15th. That's our goal, is to get that completed. If everybody doesn't know exactly where this trail goes, it's from the center of town. It goes over the walking bridge, and it goes to Mountain Mills. And so we're making this trail through grant funding through the Vermont Outdoor Recreation Program, and the Wilmington Fund Vermont also contributed, and we have an anonymous donor. We still need more funding to move that project forward for it to be fully completed. We left segment 1 out, which is the one that starts at Mountain Mills and goes up to where we start, which is the most difficult part because there's lots of wetlands in there. We have to put in many more boardwalks than anticipated and bridges. So it will be a great accessible trail for families with strollers, handicapped, not really handicapped, more, accessible with a recreational wheelchair, adaptive wheelchair. Let's see, I'm working on sewer and water easements for out on Route 9 East. And the East Main Street project got delayed again, because by the time that the state did final approval, we were too late in getting out to bid, and it was probably any contractor would be bidding pretty high on that. So our goal is to get this out this October, mid-October, probably we'll be putting that bid out. And that has a little sewer project as well in it. So we'll be hiring a contractor. So we'll be in full mode next spring. Let's see. I think that's about it that I have.
All right. That trail's gonna be great. It will go to Dover.
You want me to start, Shannon? Grievance period is over in Dover, and as far as I know, we had no grievances this year, which is pretty phenomenal. We are moving forward with repairing the Blue Brook Bridge, which the state has deemed unsafe, and this is Dover's problem. And so I think we've hired Renaud Brothers to repair it for a 5-year approximately repair, and at about $90,000 that we hadn't budgeted. So that's kind of annoying. The Water Task Force has done a survey in town of all property owners, and they had a very good response about it. Over 425, I think, 500 and how many? Per a member who lives in this house as well, 540 plus. So that's a really good response. They were hoping for like 100. And we're going to have a meeting with the public on July 23rd at the Dover Town Hall at 5 o'clock. And so this is pretty exciting. We're starting to get things moving, and these guys are doing a lot of work. So that's good. Let me think what else is new. Oh, and just by the way, the Deerfield Valley News has been sold. And I think everybody probably knows it, but the Commons, Vermont Independent Media had purchased the Deerfield Valley News on June 27th. And the transition is happening. And Randy and I are still working in the office through probably early October. But there's a story, as Shannon has already read, and it's in front of the paywall, so anybody can read it. And all of the subscriptions are going to be good, and it's a good transition. We're ready.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Big news.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big news about news.
Mm.
That's it for me.
That's it. Thanks.
Which
Uh,
make yours
Hermitage,
here.
not
Oh,
much.
I gotta go. Hold on, Bill. I got stuff.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So I've been officially in the director position for about 7 weeks now, and it's been a busy time. So our short-term rental registration process is well underway. I'd say a little under half of the properties that have to register have done that. There were quite a few more logistical and technical issues in the process than Eric could ever have anticipated, like properties that didn't get loaded right, out of date addresses, all of that stuff. So each property owner got a series of letters. Those have all gone out, and we're catching back up. I have a lot of open work orders with the company to take care of some things, but it seems to be going mostly okay, which is great. I have a meeting later this morning with some people that want to learn about how it's working in Dover, which is interesting. So we'll see how this wraps up as we move forward. Updating some things. Unfortunately, we didn't make it past the second round of the land water conservation grant we were hoping to get to develop a skate park in town, which is disappointing, especially as somebody who has to drive to Manchester to pick a kid up from skate park camp today. But that's okay. We'll keep looking for stuff. We closed out a successful Do It grant application period. That's our facade grant. 20 businesses were awarded about $88,000. A lot of those projects are underway. You've probably seen the signs through town. If you saw the article in the paper or the little blurb in the paper, a lot of those businesses lost their Do It signs along with so many other signs in town, and they were all found at the State Highway Garage. So hopefully we'll see some of those get back up into yards. But it's looking like summer out. We have new banners up that went up in May. Our flower barrels went out in June. Concert started at the end of June, which is great. Moving into fall, our technical assistance grant program should be opening back up in September. And then we have a disc golf tournament happening in Horace Hill on September 6th and 7th. So I'll be posting a closure for that soon, working with some of those people. But it's exciting to see people out there and using it. So that's all I have for now.
That's it, Shannon? It sounded like a
That's
lot.
Well, I got more later, you'll see.
That's 7 weeks worth. Wait till you see what's coming.
It's a lot.
Okay. On that, then Hermitage Club. Hard to follow that. Not an awful lot. I guess I'll be the first to say what a great July 4th weekend, which really was like 5 days of great weather in a busy town. I know a lot of our members, it's really become a tradition. Frankly, we had debated whether our club celebration should be on the holiday weekend or perhaps a weekend before, because a lot of our members were expressing they have other things to do for July 4th that are traditions with family or other clubs. But we've stuck with it and have changed behaviors. And we're really pleased that now people are building their holiday plans around their visit to the club first and everything else second. And that showed up for sure this long weekend, which was stretched out, relaxing, enjoyable, great fireworks. Everybody had a great time. The rest of the last 2 months, it's off season for us, so we don't operate other than that event. A lot of maintenance projects around our various facilities. We're doing snowmaking upgrades to our compressor system, pipe repairs, and the typical off-season stuff. So not too much that's exciting there. And then, catching up was in the newspaper. Thank you very much. Mike did a nice article, nice write-up. I appreciate that. Now it is official. Josh DeBottis will be taking over the helm on August 18th, so not too many weeks away from here. And I hang around till the end of September to help with that transition. And the guy's got a powerhouse resume, super high hospitality, quite a bit of ski familiarity. I think it was in the bio, and I'm sure there'll be more information follow-up. But among other things on his resume, he ran the Bretton Woods Hotel and oversaw the Bretton Woods ski area, which is probably the finest ski area in New Hampshire, not only in my opinion, but in all the public polls. Big capital projects. They put in a new mountaintop lodge and a gondola. So I think he's the second right guy for the job to take the club the next stretch. So look forward to introducing him to everyone, getting him in town and up and going as smoothly as possible. And I think that's all the news from the club. Any questions? No. All right. Mount Snow, I don't see Leah here, so we'll move on from that one. Adam?
Let's see. So we are hopeful that we learn later this week of funding award through SSBCI, which is U.S. Treasury dollars that go to every state, and then they distribute those for equity investments into growing businesses. So we looked at this in the midst of COVID and said, no, we weren't ready to tackle something like that. Since then, we finished our EDA Build to Scale program, which was how to build an investment fund, and actually had a conversation with Bill and a couple other folks in the Valley interested in trying to figure out how to do investment type programs, and we're really excited in the progress we've made last several months. And if we're able to get this award, we don't actually get any funding. What we get is the ability to go out and excuse me, market the program, let folks know that for a 1-to-1 match, so a startup business or a going concern, if they need to buy new equipment, say they've got $100,000 worth of equipment to purchase, if they had $50,000, we can come in with a $50,000 equity investment into that. So it's patient capital that won't need to be repaid for 5, 7, or 10-year term, with probably somewhere between a 7 and 10% carry. So it does include a cost, but it's very patient, and allows for that growth stage to take effect. So if we get that, we applied for $7 million. We think it's going to get halved or so, but have a good tranche of funds to be able to put into startup ventures, which do not exist currently in our region. We have funds that can be invested in going concerns, but no startup access. So this could be a real game changer. So we're really hopeful for that. And if we don't get it, someone else will, and we'll just make sure we tackle them and deploy those funds here in Southern Vermont. We've got a lot of different programming happening. In the Brattleboro region, we've got a really cool program that's in I think it's its 3rd year, for summer career boot camp. That starts next week, I think. We've got a few different Biz Connects things happening, so if folks are on our newsletter, there's information on that. Meg Stolf in the Southern Vermont Economy Project has some cool stuff happening. August 28th is kicking off a Southern Vermont Municipal Leaders Network Town Building Symposium. So that's through the USDA program, and really just trying to help towns understand, what should they be doing for capital reserves. They have an empty building, or just trying to reserve for future improvements of other buildings, converting to ADA accessibility, things along those lines. We also have a couple of the newcomer mixers happening. So Towards the end of July, there's one over in Jamaica. River and Rye is a newly opening bed and breakfast and restaurant. So they're going to be hosting that. So right now we're speaking with, I think, 3 to 5 people who are moving to the Southern Vermont in the coming months, and just continue to see a real steady trickle of people looking to relocate and using the GROW program to help facilitate that. I think I'll leave it there. Happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, kick it back to you, Bill.
Any questions? All right, thanks for the report. Adam, Moover.
Good morning, everybody. Again, sorry, I'm home today, so I'm going to keep my camera off because this internet is not as great as the office. So we completed our fiscal year 25, ended on June 30th. I do not have the final ridership numbers. We were closing in on 500,000 rides, which is usually kind of our goal. We do not think we're going to have hit that, but we will be pretty darn close. So it'll be interesting. I'll have those final numbers in September. We had the fireworks on Wednesday the 2nd. They were attended lighter than last year. I think a lot of that was just the timing and the day of the week. So we did move some people, but was not one of our record years for sure. But all went well. Everybody was happy and kind, and everybody had a great time that we did move around. So that's great to hear. So the Moover world, since May, boy, we've had some changes, and I'm not sure if I've got everybody up to speed. So I'm sure you saw in press releases, we had some route cuts that we adjusted. This was based on performance reports and requests from the state of Vermont, VTrans. They had a budget shortfall that they asked all the transit providers to work together and try to make something happen to save some funding. When we adjusted the routes, we tried not to cut anything completely, really more consolidation or if there was like one loop that just didn't have a lot of ridership. We did end up losing the connection to Bennington. That was also because that was in coordination with another transit provider. So we did one half of that loop. They did the other half. They were going to cut their half. So it kind of made no sense for us to bring people to Bennington to strand them there. And then the Brattleboro Microtransit, unfortunately, that was a pilot program. It was an evening service. We ran that with a little bit over a year's worth of private funding, thanks to Jen Stromson at the BDCC finding a Department of Labor grant to get that going. But unfortunately, we couldn't show the ridership data performed the way the state would want to see it in that 1 year for them to be able to come up with the money. And since they were facing a shortfall, we were forced to stop that service. That does not mean that service is not going to be revisited in the future. It just means that as of right now, it is done. We have also actually secured another grant for 3 years from another Northern Borders regional grant to start a microtransit program in Springfield, Vermont. I know that's not this territory, but you'll see it in the papers and you'll see it on our Facebook page. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up. So all things Moover are moving along. We're doing great. We are always looking for drivers. We are always looking for volunteers in the area to help. Still crazily high demand for demand response rides, which is our medical trips and so forth. So anybody that's interested in anything like that, please send them our way. We will train them as well. And I think that's it for now. Looking forward to kind of going through the summer. This is our quieter time, if you want to call it that, until we gear up for fall and winter. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much, Christine. And on to chamber.
So that's me too.
Yes.
Since we last met, we did hire an executive director. Unfortunately, they have already resigned. So she'll be finishing out the last few days here. And we'll be posting that job again shortly. But it's been a really good spring into summer for the chamber. So the golf tournament happened June 16th. We actually got perfect weather after what was like weeks of rain. So that was a great day. And thank you to those of you that helped support that. We did have fireworks on Wednesday the 2nd. We got a handful of complaints, mostly over social media, about why was it on Wednesday. It felt a little light on the field, but all of our vendors reported having a great night and sales were up. So I think that's great. Obviously, we're looking to book for next year already. There's only so many fireworks providers, and hoping to get a better date for that. But it was a great evening, also with nice weather, which was a nice change over last year where we got soaked during setup. We've had a lot of member mixers since we met. So May, we were at the pickleball courts, which was fun. June, we were at the Inn at Mount Snow, which followed it up with their open house celebrating the 70s. For those of you that weren't there, Bill really rocked it and was dressed for the 70s. It was fantastic. And then in July, this Monday was actually one of our Grow Grant funded community mixers. Attendance was amazing. We were at Vermont Distillers. We had just under 70 people there, which was great. So we look forward to another one of those before the end of the year. And then we'll have another Grow event in partnership with BDCC. So Tim and I are working on that for the fall. And then looking forward, it's almost Blueberry Festival time. So that starts in just about 2 weeks. We kick off Friday, July 25th in Jacksonville, and then Saturday it's Dover Day. So the parade is back, the craft fair, Touch a Truck, Kids Fair, Music Mile. What else? Sadie's favorite, the Blue Eyed Contest. Jello is back. That's been missing for a few years. And then the block party is on Saturday. And we have a new car show event happening on Sunday. So if Janet hasn't gotten to you and you would like to sponsor an ad, let me know. If you would like to put something in parade, let me know. And then before we know it, Wine and Harvest will be here. So the Soup Stroll is Friday, September 19th. And then Saturday, we're back at Mount Snow. So it's the thick of chamber season. Would be really great to have an executive director. But we're lucky we have a really great board. So I know Charlie dropped off, but Charlie and Lisa and I and some of our other members are really in the thick of it. But Bethany will be coming back to help for Blueberry. She's so thrilled about it. But it's a good time. It's unfortunate it didn't work out, but sometimes things just aren't a good fit. So we're hoping we'll see what we get for applicants this time around. But that's it for the chamber.
Can I clarify, the car show is Sunday, August 3rd?
Yes.
And I only asked because I think I saw a poster that had the 2nd on it.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be Sunday, but I'll check for sure. But yes. And I know while I still have the mic a little bit, Sam, do you want to, because obviously the Blueberry Block Party, but Wilmington Works has
You're right.
a block party event this Saturday. If you're able to shout it out for a second.
Sure. So Wilmington Works, we have our first village stroll this Saturday. The theme is picnic in the park. I'm hoping that the weather holds out. But I do want to just touch on, speaking of a car show, we are kind of going for a vintage flair. So if you or anyone you know has a vintage car, feels like showing it off, I encourage you to come park it downtown from 5 to 7 and just kind of zhuzh up West Main Street a little bit.
There you go, Bill. You've got the thing.
There you go. Yeah. And I apologize. I went back and looked. It is the 3rd. Someone told me the 2nd, but the poster says the 3rd. So, good. Yep.
Anything's
Awesome.
possible.
Yeah, I can make that day. Okay. Thanks for holding down so many forts. Anything else from the chamber?
That's it. That feels like enough.
That is enough. Any other business? Hearing none, I guess it's time. So our next meeting is Thursday, September 4th. Gretchen will be the
Chair.
chair. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
aye,
Nice. Hey, thank you very much, everybody.
thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Bill.
summer.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
Bill.
ma'am.
you.